Let's look at the boundaries of this land Bharath, as mentioned in our ancient texts.
The boundaries of Bharath were well described as the great ocean in the south, that is, the Mahasagar, the high snow-capped mountains, the Himalayas, in the north. Him means snow, Alya means abode, Himalaya means the abode of snow. Aruna means the first rays of the sun. It is not the disk of the sun, but the rays of the sun that precede the rising sun. Achala means hills. Arunachal is the hills that receive the first light. The westernmost hills, which form the boundaries of Bharath, were known as Astachal. Ast means to set, the setting sun as in Suryast. The hills on which the sun sets in the land of Bharath was called Astachal.
The land to the north of Himalayas is called Tibet. Tibet is called Trivishtab in Sanskrit language. How did Tibet get its name?
The Indian plate, slowly moving northwards in the remote past, hit the Asian plate many million years ago. When it hit the Asian plate, it created a crumple. What came of this crumple is a massive range of mountains. This crumpled mountain range stretched from Tehran in Iran in the west to Hanoi in Vietnam in the east. This is what we now call the Himalayan range. This impact had created 3 crumple zones in this Himalayan range. The lower range is known as Shivalik, where life exists in abundance. The middle range is known as Mahabharat, the great range that encapsulates the northern borders of the land of Bharath. The third and the highest range is called Himalaya, always covered in snow.
Because of these 3 layers or crumpled zones, the flat land on the other side of the Himalayas came to be called Trivishtab, meaning the thrice folded land. This word Trivishtab got anglicized and became Tibet. We thus see that this land Tibet had a scientific name, Trivishtab, from a geological happening. How and when did Bharath get the name India?
In the Persian language, the syllable sa was pronounced as her. So the Persians and Arabs who came east towards the river Sindhu called the land around and beyond the river Sindhu as Hind. From this came Hindu, Hindustan. As the word Hind travelled west towards Greece from Persia, in the Greek language, H was interchangeable with I, thus Hind became Ind, Inde. Greek scholars of 200 BCE, Hutinga and Ptolemy, both show India as Indi in their maps.
Thereafter, the term Indi, Inde, India came to be.
As per the Indian Constitution, this land is called India, that is, Bharath.
Why does this country have two names? Why is India called Bharath?
The word Bharath etymologically stands for Bha, that is light, the spreading of light, the knowledge which comes with the spreading of light, and Rath, one who is a connoisseur of knowledge. The spread of this land is also expressed in the literature of the land. In the Rig Veda, Rishi Vishwamitra describes the people living in this land as Bharatam Janam. The word Janam means people, citizens.
Bharat is the land where people relish knowledge.
We also hear the names Bharat Khand, Bharat Varsh for this land. What do these names imply?
Bharat Khand is the continent of Bharat. This expression of Bharat Khanda in times of yore stretched from Turkey, Rome in the west, to Suvarnabhumi, Indonesia in the east. The continent of Bharat Khand pretty much covered most of South Asia. In the continent of Bharat laid the country Bharat Varsha. The Bharat Varsha extended from Afghanistan in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east, to the Himalayas in the north, to the Indian Ocean in the south.
In this continent of Bharatakhanda lay the country Bharatavarsha. This Bharatavarsha extended from Afghanistan in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east, from Himalayas in the north to the Indian Ocean in the south. Why does it rain every year on this land without fail? What are the forces of nature that bring this rain to this land every year?
In the month of May, there is summer in the northern hemisphere. In the interiors of India, temperatures soar to 45 degrees centigrade and even more. In Sahara Desert, the temperature range is between 45 degrees to 50 degrees centigrade. This extreme heat causes low pressure. During this time, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. The Great Australian Desert is cooler and hence high pressure prevails there. It is well known that winds always move from high pressure to low pressure. So the cool winds move from central Australia in a northwesterly direction towards the hot Sahara Desert. As the winds cross the equator, they turn right in consonance with nature due to the Earth's spin, which is explained as Farrell's law. Picking up moisture along the way from the Indian Ocean, the moisture-laden winds blow in towards India, thereby bestowing monsoon rains all over the land.
In our daily worship in the temples, when we see the Navagraha shrine, where we propitiate the planets, we see the sun is placed in the center. That the sun is in the center was common knowledge in ancient India, much before it came to be known in the Western world. This is evident in the Navagraha shrine in temples all across India, where we see the sun in the center and the various planets and graha all around it. This is not some knowledge that has been tucked away in some palm leaf manuscript or in some obscure document. It is there for all to see in every Navagraha shrine, in temple after temple, village after village, all over the land, that the sun is in the center. That's why the solar system is called Surya Malika. Mala means garland, and each of these planets is a garland around the sun. This concept is also called as Gurutvakarshana, where the word Akarshana means to attract, and all these planets are attracted and held by the gravity of the sun. It's called Gurutva, that which holds on to. It's from this word Gurutva that we get the English word gravity.
Venus has been called Shukra, means white and bright. Venus is indeed the brightest of all planets when seen from the Earth. Mars is called Lohitang, meaning made of loha, iron. Analysis of the samples from NASA's space probes to Mars have revealed that it indeed contains iron deposits. Its Sanskrit name, Lohitang, meaning full of iron, had always indicated so. Jupiter is called Brihaspati. Brihad means large. For example, as in Brihadishwara temple, for the large Shiva temple at Thanjavur, Tamil Nadu, or Brihan Mumbai for Greater Mumbai. The word Brihad comes from the root brah, meaning to grow, expand, to enlarge. We see today that Jupiter indeed is the largest planet in the solar system. Amongst the planets, Venus appears the brightest in the sky and hence could well have been thought to be the larger body. Yet our ancients had deemed it fit to call Jupiter Brihaspati, the large one, the big one. Another popular name for Jupiter is Guru. Guru means the weighty one that attracts everything towards itself. This is why intellectuals, teachers, spiritual guides whom people flock to for advice, guidance and learning are called Gurus. Gurus attract people with their knowledge, wisdom, compassion and benign presence. The word Gurutva Akarshana, that denotes gravitational pull in Sanskrit, comes from this weightiness denoted by the word Guru. The concept of gravity and the very word gravity in modern science seem to have roots in this Gurutva Akarshana. Since Jupiter is the heaviest of all planets and exerts maximum pull on other planets, it was also called Guru. Saturn, the ringed planet was named Shani, short for Shaneshcharam. Charam means to move. Shani means slowly. Shaneshcharam is one that moves slowly. Saturn is the slowest moving amongst all other major planets visible in the sky, namely Mercury, Venus, Mars and Jupiter. It takes about 30 years to go around the Sun once. All planets in our solar system, Surya Malika, have been given masculine names with the exception of Earth, Bhumi, because of its unique feminine property to give birth to life. Everything in the sky is moving. This is true for a galaxy too. But because of its large mass, it moves comparatively slowly. A galaxy is appropriately called Mandakini. Manda meaning slow, Mandakini meaning slow moving.
Let us look at some of the prominent stars, their names and their meanings in Jyotisha, Indian astronomy.
The Centauri constellation in the southern sky hosts the closest star to our Sun, Proxima Centauri. The current name is Proxima Centauri because it is the proximate one to our Sun. Its Indian name is Mitra, friend. This is not a star that is easily visible in the sky. It is just a speck among the other stars. Even when magnified, it is still a speck. It is amazing as to how among the bunch of stars that they were able to correctly name it as Mitra, the closest one. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is called Akash Ganga because it looks like a frothy white river in the night sky. Lambda Scorpio, Mula. The region around the star, Lambda Scorpio, in the tail of the Scorpio constellation is called Mula. Moolam Nakshatra in Indian traditional astronomy. The word Mula means root or base. Bhari means fanning out. The name of this star means the base or root from which the stars are fanned out. True to its name, this region in the sky between Scorpio and Sagittarius marks the center of the Milky Way galaxy, the hub from which the entire galaxy emerged. This is the womb of the galaxy where thousands of stars are being born. How did they so correctly pinpoint this location and call it Mula Bhari, meaning to fan out from its root?
In the neck of the same Scorpio constellation, there is a star, a red star, which is called Antares in modern European astronomy. Antares means rival to Mars. It rivals Mars in redness and brightness in the sky. It is as red as Mars. Now this star is actually just the 17th brightest star in the sky. This star has been called Jeshta in Indian astronomy. Jeshta means eldest or the big one. Why would they call it Jeshta or the big one when it is only just 17th brightest star in the sky? For this, if you look at the sizes, let's look at the sizes. Earth to Sun, when you compare, the Earth is just 1/100th of the size of the Sun. This huge Sun is very tiny, a speck when compared to Arcturus in the Buddhist constellation. Arcturus is a giant star. This giant Arcturus is a point when you compare it with Antares, which is the big one. And therefore, you see that our ancients seem to have known of this fact that Antares, even though is just a 17th bright star in the sky, is actually the biggest in our galaxy, and they have aptly given it the name Jeshta, the eldest or the big one.
Antares, Jeshta, the big one. The biggest one was identified and named suitably 7,000 years ago itself by the Indian astronomers. What sight or what insight did they have to catch this large one is something again to marvel upon. Were these characteristic names just a coincidence? To ensure that the scientific knowledge, the characteristics of each of these astronomical bodies gets transmitted through the generations, stories were woven around these names. We thus have these popular stories where the stars blend into people. The naming of Mizar Alcor, the double star in the Ursa Major constellation, also known as the Great Bear, as Vasishtha and Arundhati, has a very interesting legend attached to it. Sage Vasishtha is very well known in Indian history as the preceptor to Surya Vamsha, the solar dynasty. The illustrious King Rama belongs to this lineage. Vasishtha was respected by one and all for his knowledge and sagacity. His wife, Arundhati, was as virtuous as he was learned, and they complemented each other's qualities. While solemnizing marriages in India, the newlywed couples are shown Mizar Alcor star in the constellation Ursa Major, called Saptarishi Mandala in Indian astronomy. Mizar is called Vasishtha in Indian astronomy and is one of the 7 great sages in the Saptarishi Mandala. Mizar in modern astronomy has been identified as a star with a companion called Alcor. This Alcor was known in Indian astronomy and given the name Arundhati, the name of Vasishtha's wife. The Mizar Alcor pair is thus a double star. Usually, a double star has a smaller star going around a bigger star. In this case, however, the stars are sized and separated such that they both appear to go around one another when observed from the Earth.
The message of this double star to the newly marrieds is so that one doesn't dominate the other in life, but they complement each other in their to have a happy married life, as is the case with the noble Arundhati and Vasishtha. The ancient seers understood this and gave it as a wise message in the form of a ritual at the time of marriage. This knowledge of this double star and its concept of revolution, its concept of unique revolution, has been mentioned in multiple texts